Empty hearts and neon lights. They're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone.
Holy shit. Hello, everyone. Hello. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Pokemon Unite players around the world are probably ready to grab their box of tissues and cry themselves to sleep after the news bomb is making its way to social media rounds and everyone's just jumping on the hot potato that's been lobbed their way. This news is so bad for Pokemon Unite that I actually had to turn on my face camera for the day. Don't worry, guys, I'm still here. I've always been here, but like the news is so bad for the game that I had to turn on my face camera just so you guys can see my reaction to what is transpiring as we speak, because this has only been dropped within the last like half an hour. So this is gonna be like a long ranting session, I kid you not, because the news that just dropped has so many implications going forward with regards to this game that honestly, I don't even know what to make of it besides the impending doom that is the end of service for Pokemon Unite. Oh god, turn it back off. Okay, so guys, as usual, I am multi-streaming to YouTube, so of course, if you encounter the ads on Twitch, then, you can always just watch over there with a slight delay, but at least it's ad-free. So, I'm going to be ranting a lot I don't know how long this is going to take me. I can probably turn this small crumb of news into like a 3-hour discussion if I wanted to, but realistically, it's just, there's a lot to really unpack with what's going on. So if you guys are going to miss out, just head over to YouTube and you can follow along there, assuming you're not sub, don't have Twitch Turbo, or don't have ad blocker, alright? So, first of all, good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. Like I said, this is pretty gargantuan news. This is like the freaking ginormous land shark that's ready to just eat this game alive. I don't even know how to even begin, but basically, this year is the last year of Pokemon Unite being in the World Championships of Pokemon. The last year. It is confirmed, it is official, and that is coming from the social media accounts that are responsible for Pokemon Unite. The Japanese account, the English account, the sign language account, like whatever. This is the last year of Pokemon Unite World Championships. Alright? Now, if you don't know already, the Pokemon World Championships consists of multiple games in different categories, alright? So, if you're not familiar, because you don't follow along or you just don't know, there are several games under the umbrella of the World Championship Series, starting from, in no particular order, Pokemon Go, Pokemon VGC, the trading card game, you had Pokemon Unite up until now, and then of course for VGC there are also different divisions as well, but it's still part of VGC, and Pokemon Unite is getting relegated. They're getting the boot. They are getting axed. They are just getting shoved aside because, for whatever reason, now, they didn't explain why Pokemon Unite specifically is getting the boot from the umbrella, or, the Cool Kids Club. Like, you got all the other games, alright? You got all the other games. They're all going to be continuing in the World Championship Series. So, like I said, like VGC, trading card game, Pokemon Go, they're all still going to be part of that umbrella, alright? But Pokemon Unite, they're getting kicked out of the Breakfast Club, and they're going to be their own thing. And that has a lot of implications going forward. So, we can get into that just briefly, but first I gotta start off with the actual post itself because that's literally the news portion of this, alright? So this is, I will also link it in the chat because obviously, some people might want to look at it themselves. So I'll just post the link to the tweet, and of course I can also link the actual website itself. So yeah, this is coming from the Japanese account, and of course there's like the English account as well. But I'll read this and then we can get on with it. We're gonna do our streamer narrator voice, loud and concise. Until now, Pokemon Unite, in quotations, has been held as one of the competition categories at the Pokemon World Championships. It has now been decided to hold it as a standalone competition event, Pokemon Unite EOS Crown 2027 Tokyo. For details, please check the official website. So, basically, in a nutshell, Pokemon Unite, no longer part of the World Championship Series. It's going to be its own independent tournament that's going to be held in Tokyo of the next year. Now, technically speaking, they're still going to have a tournament for Pokemon Unite for comp players, but when you actually look at the format for the tournament itself, it is really bad, and I mean really, really bad. Personally speaking, I thought the regional league thing was kind of a miss. Like, personally speaking, from a viewer perspective, I preferred the monthly the monthly tournaments that were more consistent and allowed for more opportunity for people that were trying to be competitive. Now, I cannot speak on the behind the scenes stuff or like the process because I've never competed as a Pokemon Unite competitive player, but I can only speak from a viewer standpoint, and that was just my opinion. I preferred the monthly tournaments. I hated the regional league. I thought they were gonna experiment with it and then, try to switch it up or at least adjust it depending on how successful it was. But that's not even a thing anymore. That's not even a possibility. Like, they're just scrapping that period. So if we open up the link, hold on. Well, we can translate this, but okay, so this is the format, but we'll get into that just in a second. Okay? So we got to go through this. I'm not going to open up every single link, but this is just basically the itinerary and what's going to be happening in 2027. So this is all inclusive, all the categories, everything that's going to be taking place in 2027, which is the WCS. Okay. So every year, the play, Pokemon team evaluates and makes adjustments to the play Pokemon program. Please read on to find out the latest changes for the 2027 Championship Series season. So obviously, you got a bunch of different links leading to different things. Obviously, you would just look at what pertains to what you are competing in, what you're interested in, or what you need to familiarize yourself with, yada, yada, yada. So obviously, I'm not going to go through every single one of those. That's just too much. Championship Series event schedule. Dates and locations have been announced for the 2027 season and can now be found on the season calendar. The Latin American International Championships will take place in Sao Paulo, Brazil in November 2026. Like last year, London will host the EUIC in February 2027. Meanwhile, the NAIC will move to a new location, Chicago, Illinois in June 2027. Now, this is where everything in the World Championships for Pokemon are going to be held. So, like EUIC, NAIC locations for 2027. But here, of course, the important thing to take away from this is that you're not going to have any Pokemon Unite. There's no more LAIC, there's no EUIC, there's no NAIC for Pokemon Unite. It's donezo, it's finito, it's just gonzo. Alright? Now, there's, like I said, there's a lot of implications. The biggest thing is, this game was already on its, last leg. Alright? It was on its last peg leg. It was, holding on for dear life. This game was trying to stay afloat. And now that the comp for WCS is officially getting axed is just over, guys. It's donezo. Like, I am already expecting an end of service announcement very soon. I don't know how soon, but when you have to read in between the lines, all right? And people can think I'm being pessimistic. I've always been realistic about this game, and my expectations have always been tempered compared to a lot of other people that genuinely wanted this game to succeed. And don't get me wrong, obviously, if you wanted this game to succeed, that's perfectly fine. Like, obviously, there's no harm in that, or there's nothing wrong with that. But also, there's a difference between being extremely optimistic, delusional, and just like naive. And if you've been a player or a spectator now, once upon a time, whatever, you would know that if you've been keeping up even somewhat actively, even a little bit, you would know that this game has been on a downward decline for so long. Now, obviously, they've never publicly provided statistical data when it comes to active player count, like how many people are playing on each servers, yada yada yada. The only thing they talk about are downloads. They have some, revenue for like the Play Store, all that stuff. So you have like a general idea of like how much they're making, but that also doesn't indicate how many people are playing the game on a day-to-day basis. But from a viewer perspective, from a player perspective, you would know that compared to previous years, it's been on a decline. At the very least, it feels that way. Now, people can try to argue that, oh my god, Shen, no, you're wrong. Like, it's not on decline, it's the best it's ever was. And it's like, if you want to be that person that tries to, disprove that, or like try to argue that because there's no factual, like, public data, by all means. It won't change the fact that the game has been dying. Alright? The season calendar also contains the dates and locations of a number of 2027 Pokemon Championship Series regional championships and special championships. Keep checking back for more updates later in the season. So this is obviously pertaining to everything under the Pokemon World Championships umbrella. So that's pretty much everything else. And of course, if we keep on going, you have like more VGC stuff, Travel Award tiebreakers, more VGC stuff. And obviously, this is the important one, because obviously this is our category. This is the one that, a lot of people that are in the Pokemon Unite community just care for. Like, if you don't care for any of the other stuff, you can literally just scroll down to the bottom and just look at this little paragraph right here. Pokemon Unite Championship Series. The Pokemon Unite Championship Series will no longer be a part of the Championship Series in the 2027 season. There will be a standalone in-person Pokemon Unite event planned to take place in Japan with paid travel for qualified teams. Additional details, including qualification and travel support, information will be announced at a later date on the Pokemon Unite official site. Now, when you go over to the official site, like this website, God forbid, like this website is so garbage, so trash. Like, bro, like if they were paying someone to like maintain this website with up-to-date data, like they failed miserably. Like, I swear to you, like I don't even remember the last time they updated this, with the exception of like now. I mean, the last time they updated something, or at least latest news, was last month with regards to end of Facebook account support. So basically, if you're using Facebook to log into Pokemon Unite, then that form of login method would no longer be available. And then prior to that, September 26, 2025. So you have basically almost like a half a year gap between the last bit of news, a couple months after that, or before that, a couple months before that. And then, even then, like from March 25th, and then there's a big gap from 2024. Long story short, like this website was just, it was not it. Like who I don't even know anyone that actively even used this website because it was so obsolete. And honestly, I made a video about it because I was like a while back I made a video on this website joking about it because it was so garbage and trash that like it's just like what's the point of having this website if no one ever updates it? Like if like you're supposed to update it with, relevant news. Like this would be a good site. It's the Pokemon Unite site, but they don't even put the patch notes up here. All right? So like it's one of those irrelevant just placeholders for stuff and it's just like, "Oh, once in a blue moon they're going to throw in something here." But yeah, so the website itself is not that helpful. So we can just close that. And then so with regards to the transition, all right? So going back to this, Pokemon Unite no longer being part of the Pokemon World Championship Series. It's going to be a stand-alone event, and it's going to be called EOS Crown 2027 Tokyo. So it's going to be an event that's going to be held in Japan, Tokyo, and then they're kind of outlining the foundation of what's going to happen for when they decide to, well, like after this year when they make that transition, all right? So we'll read this, and I'll also link in the chat as well so you guys can see it on your end if you want to. Let's see here. So that's going to be the new format for 2027, and honestly, guys, like, I don't want to be that guy, but I think it would be I am calling it now, alright? I'm going to use my prophet-like abilities of prediction, and I predict that sometime next year. So, we still have like half a year left, but like sometime next year, I don't know when exactly. I truly believe I'm expecting an end of service announcement for Pokemon Unite sometime next year. That I'm calling it now. Mark it in your calendars, July 15th, 2026. Sometime next year, we're getting an end of service for Pokemon Unite. That is my guess, and I'm locking in that prediction. But going to the actual format for this new independent tournament, okay? Pokemon Unite Championship Series update. We have decided that Pokemon Unite will not be part of the Pokemon World Championship 2027, scheduled for 2027, and will instead hold a separate tournament. Pokemon Unite EOS Crown 2027 Tokyo. The schedule is as follows. Pokemon Unite EOS Crown 2027 Tokyo, regional qualifiers. Dates from November 2026. So the regionals the qualifier starts this year. So that is after, the Worlds has already ended. Because keep in mind, Worlds ends in August. I believe it starts on the 28th, and it's like a total of 3 days. So from the last couple of days of August, starts on the 28th, I believe it should be a Friday if I recall correctly. So basically, September, October, you got, depending on when they begin those qualifiers, you basically have 2 months to kind of prep, I guess, if you're still going to be or try to be a competitive player. And all the regions that are eligible, it's going to be qualifiers for all the eligible regions. We'll publish the details of the eligible locations at a later date. So here's the thing, like this already right here is like a red flag for me, and it's like you're waiting for a date and you have no idea if your region is even eligible for this qualifier. Now, obviously, if we were to just backtrack a bit, all the regions that were eligible up to date are like EU, North America, LATAM, once upon a time OCE, and I think they're still like technically eligible for like UCS. They just don't have like their own stream anymore, their own broadcast, whatever. I think there's Brazil as well, and then of course you have the Asia regions like Japan, Korea, Tokyo, China, all that stuff. And yeah, so like those are basically all the regions that were eligible for Pokemon Unite, the WCS, but the thing is, because it's now an independent tournament or like their own independent series, we have no idea if these guys like it's not specific. Like we don't know who exactly is going to be like behind and responsible for this tournament. Like yes, it's going to be held in Japan, like Tokyo, but like who is they? Like who are the people that are going to be like taking the reins of this horse and leading it in the direction that it's inevitably going to go towards? I have no idea. Like they haven't provided that information. Um Obviously I'd imagine it's somewhere like someone within like the Asia region. But that also being said, like it makes sense that it's someone on like the Asia side, mainly because if it wasn't already obvious enough, like the game has been struggling across the board when it comes to the West. I'm talking all the regions on our side, no exception. Like we're all losers. We all fall under the loser category when it comes to this. I'm talking North America. I'm talking EU. I'm talking Latam. I'm talking Brazil. I'm talking OCE. Anyone that's in like part of those that on this side of the world, we're struggling out here. We're struggling with players. We're struggling with viewership. We're struggling with consistent updates. Like everything you can think of when it comes to the essentials to be a good game, we are just struggling. All right, there's no other way to say that. Like obviously I can say that in a more like blunt way, but for the sake of argument I'm being a little bit more polite. But like we are just getting shafted right now. So like this to me is just like, if you didn't already qualify for the World Championship Series this year, it might just be it for you. Until they provide more details, like concrete specific details, this could be potentially like your last time ever just competing on stage to be a potential world champion. And it's quite sad. Like obviously like the writing was on the wall for a very long time. Like, we all knew this was going to happen sooner or later. But I guess, for some people, I'm sure it's going to be like a gut punch, alright? Like, they're just getting sucker punched right now. And when you actually see, like, the official accounts for this game, basically just saying, like, no more, well, it's not that there's no more comp, it's just like, you're not part of the big leagues anymore. You're basically going from a major league team, like a major league sport, to like you're going back down to like varsity or like the kiddie leagues. All right, like hopefully you guys understand that reference, but like that's pretty much what is happening to Pokemon Unite. Howdy gamers, what's up? Yo, how's it going, JB? Pokemon Sleep taking over Unite slot? Yo, imagine. We're going from we're going from the big leagues to the minors. Like, that's pretty much what it is. And then like once I get through this, we can talk about all the repercussions, like the cascading domino effect of what's going to happen to the game and its player base in the next couple of months. Because like it's not just that, like people think, or like some people might immediately think it's just the comp side, who cares? But like that's just naive thinking, because when you when you are basically just pulling the plug on the comp side, you're already just targeting a good chunk of the active players that are still like trying to make this game work. All right, but we'll get into that in just a bit. So, format, online with a unified regulation for all locations. So these are going to be online qualifiers for all the eligible locations, like the regions, whatever. There is going to be a tournament prize for the qualifiers. And then, final tournament. So we got date late March 2027. Late March 2027 tentative. Location Tokyo, Japan. Format offline. It's not even gonna be online. It's offline. So like I don't know if like when they say offline, it's just like it's gonna be LAN, of course. Like you're gonna be playing in person, but like I have no idea if whether or not they're even gonna have us like because it's shifting away and getting shafted to its own independent thing. I have no idea what that means for production value, as in if they're even gonna have a stream for these matches. Now, you guys gotta remember, up until now, these last 4.5 years, well, we'll just round up to 5 years for simplicity's sake or argument's sake. These past 5 years, we're gonna reach that 5 year point or 5 year mark in basically what I think like a week or in some change, but basically in a week we'll reach that 5 year mark, and up until that point we have been part of the WCS, so it's been part of the the kit and caboodle when it comes to production. So now that it's becoming its own thing, we have no idea if there's going to be streams. We have no idea like if there's going to be anything at all. Now, I'm not going to go as far to say that there's not going to be any streams, because obviously that wouldn't be a fact. That would just be like speculation. But what we can determine from just this right here, you basically have a qualifier portion and then one last tournament. So, like, I'm not sure if it's like this is the qualifiers for this final tournament, or if these are like two. Like, think about it like this, all right? If we were to just kind of compare this to previous years of Pokemon Unite, so like in the previous format, you would have the open qualifiers, then you would have like the monthly finals tournament, and then you would have that pretty much like, basically every month, all right? So that was the previous format, and then you would have your major tournaments. You would have stuff like LAIC, NAIC, EUIC, EOS Cup, the final stretch tournament, like the regional tournament, whatever. And that's like the previous format. Now, if you look at this year, so we'll just use this year as an example because it's the only time they actually did it. They transitioned from the monthly tournaments, like monthly qualifiers, monthly tournaments, to the regional league. Now, in case you guys don't know what the regional league is, I can, explain it. Basically, you had a couple of teams that were invited to the regional league, so they didn't have to play the qualifiers. These were orgs and players that were just, they fit the criteria for the Pokemon Unite regional league, and they automatically got an invite. A couple of those teams was like, I don't remember all of them, just because, like, old man brain, I kind of just forgot. But I know Evil Geniuses was one of them, Dignitas was one of them, Aftermath Esports was one of them, I think IX Gaming was one of them as well. I think there might have been one more. And basically, they didn't have to play through qualifiers, they were just, like, automatically, they were in the league. So when it was time to play the regional league, they were just, like, waiting for the matchups. Now, that didn't apply to the other half of the team. So all those other teams that you saw, I think, like, I don't remember all the teams, but, like, there was, like, Citadel, Lunex, all those guys. Like I said, like, I don't remember all the teams that were invited, and not, like, no, don't cherry pick on the small details. But the point is, like, the teams that were not invited, they had to play through a qualifiers, alright? And there was a lot of mixed opinions about the format. Like, some thought it was good, some thought it was bad. It was good because obviously you're trying something new. You are making the competitive Unite scene more competitive, because obviously it was more cutthroat. Cutthroat in the sense that if you didn't qualify for the regional league, your window of opportunity to qualify for Worlds was significantly lower compared to, let's say, a team that just didn't qualify for the league. And it really sucked because you also have to remember if you didn't qualify for the regional league, you had very few opportunities to qualify for worlds. You had I think there's like what EUIC, NAIC, LAIC, whatever. Like you had the major tournaments, you had EOS Cup, and then you have like the final stretch. I might have missed one or two. Oh, of course, and there was the Asia tournament as well, like the Asia Invitational. But obviously, that was also a little bit restrictive as well. But the point is like you still had opportunity. It was just like compared to the previous format, it was more difficult, more exclusive, and yeah, some people thought it was good, some people thought it was bad. So it's just a matter of opinion. It's subjective, all right? Like I'm not gonna argue like with people like it was good, it was bad. It's just the way it was. And then now, so this is literally starting this year. I think at most you have two tournaments. Two. No, so the difference is like there's not even a regional league anymore. All right? It's not even a regional league. You have a qualifiers and one last tournament, like an offline tournament. That will be up to 32 teams. So that means, so just for comparison's sake, you have no more regional league. You have no more LAIC, no more EUIC, no more NAIC. You have no more EOS Cup. You have no more, like, final stretch. It's literally just two separate things. And there may or may not be, like, a stream. That's crazy. And even then, like, when it's time for that final tournament, like, which is called, I don't even remember the name, but it's called the EOS Crown 2027 Tokyo. Like, it's crazy because, like, think of it like this, like, because it's no longer part of the World Championship Series, you're not even going to be able to call yourself a world champion anymore. You're gonna, like, hypothetically, if you're competing in this, if you plan to be, like, attempting to even try to do this, you're not going to be a world champion anymore. You're going to be an EOS Crown winner, which is like, ay caramba, man! Like, what happened? And it's just like I said, it's just a gut punch for people that were striving, like, were advocating for this game. And I like I said, speaking solely on behalf of myself, like I knew this was gonna happen at sooner or later because the way the game has been operating up until now, I guess the biggest comparison was I guess the most similar comparison I can make is Pokemon Unite was basically turning into Wild Rift. Not in terms of like the gameplay, just in the way it was handled. And long story short, if you're not familiar, basically Wild Rift is the mobile version of League of Legends. It's like the mobile port, and it was popular for a while, but eventually over time it kind of dwindled, and eventually they ended the comp side for the West. So basically that just means like no more competitive tournaments, no more, like they would still get updates, but it's just like there's no more comp side for the West, and it was just strictly focusing on the Asia side. And that's pretty much the vibe I got from Pokemon Unite up until now, and that's the vibe I've been getting for a long time. Wait, the game was operating? I thought Monkeys on Typewriters worked on it. I don't know, man. Like it's like a lot of compounding issues basically led to this spiraling effect of I don't even like it's just the spiral, like the dominoes were in place and they were ready to just fall over at any time, and now is that time. Like basically people were allowed to like speculate and be positive, be negative, or just sit on the fence, whatever. But today is the day where the first domino has officially fallen, and now the dominoes are all in place to just fall and crumble at your feet. it's not even a thing. It's not even about being negative anymore. It's just a matter of time before they all collapse, and it's donezo. It's finito. Um, so final tournament date late March 2027. Tentative location Tokyo, Japan. Format offline. 32 teams. We will invite all teams that have won their respective location qualifiers to Tokyo with travel awards. Tournament prize, yes. We will announce the detailed schedule of each location qualifier and the tournament regulations as soon as they are finalized. So okay. So to answer that question, okay. So let me answer Jumping Wonders question first. What is WCS 2027? Well, WCS is the World Championship Series, but there is no WCS for Pokemon Unite in 2027. To answer your question, Big Chansey, if you qualify, let's say in America, do they even pay our plane ticket to Tokyo? Now, let me be very specific. They have not released or they have not provided the information that tells you if you're even eligible to compete or not. So just going back here, so whatever region, like there's going to be multiple regions, but they haven't published which regions are eligible. For all we know, like you can speculate you might be eligible, but there's no guarantee. So people could be prepping for this without even realizing that they might not even be eligible. And you have to remember, this is now they don't have the backing of like the Pokemon company anymore. It's literally just its own thing, like its own single Asia entity. Like it's called the EOS Crown 2027 Tokyo. That's what it's called. It no longer WCS. Let me open this for a second. Hold on. What is this? Overlord? I know there's a lot of Doom posting going on, but this decision feels a bit strange to me. It feels more like Unite wanting to step away from WCF and its restrictions rather than Unite getting dropped itself. But that still feels like a massive gamble unless they have. That is copium. I'm sorry. Like that is such copium. I'm sorry. I respect Overlord as a player because obviously he's proven time and time again that he's like a spectacular player. But like this. Like the doom and gloom is justified, all right. There's nothing you can tell me right now there's nothing you can tell me that will convince me that the doom and gloom isn't warranted. After competing in Japan this year and attending both of the Japan offline events, I can still confidently say the esports aspect of the game is still massive in Asia. Yes, that is true. Like that is fair. That I agree with this statement because mobile games and Pokemon are a lot more popular and like respected in Asia. Esports culture over there is like comparing the sun and the moon, or like it's like night and day. The West doesn't hold a candle to the Asian regions. It's not even limited to Pokemon Unite. It's literally just gaming in general, esports in general. The West, in comparison to just Asia, like 99% of like esports are just significantly like better infrastructured and just more popular in Asia regions. All right, you might have like a few handful of games that might be a little bit more popular in the West, maybe depending on what we're talking about. But like when we're talking about this, not even close. You can I guarantee you right now, if the devs or like the people responsible for Pokemon Unite were to drop the analytical statistics of like viewership and player base, we would get trampled. Like we would get Goomba stomped into the ground, and it's not even close. That's my opinion, but of course, like I would die on the hill for that argument. There's just not enough information after a bombshell got dropped on us. There's just too many questions without any answers. Either way, it's going to be sad not being able to go to the ICs or WCS anymore. That social aspect of competing is what makes it worth it, in my opinion. The WCS started with my team winning, so I'll make sure it ends with us lifting that last trophy. Obviously, I feel like this is a little bit of contradicting. Like the fact that you're saying the last trophy, I think you've already mentally kind of accepted, yeah, it's going to be the last time you're on the big stage. and you have already accepted that this is going to be like the last big major competition, all right? So I feel like that's a little bit of contradictory there, personally. Like I might be nitpicking, but yeah, I mean, like saying that people might be over exaggerating, doom and glooming, all that stuff. Yeah, like it's warranted, man. I'm sorry to say, it is warranted 100%. Well, hold on. Let me go back to this. And then we will announce the detailed schedule of each location qualifier and the tournament regulations as soon as they are finalized. We look forward to your continued support for Pokemon Unite. So that's pretty much it for the details that they unveiled for the new format of this Tokyo tournament. Alright, so you have the qualifiers and then you have the final tournament, and that's it. I would not, like, let me put it to you this way. If I'm a competitive player, or I'm a person striving to be a competitive player, I wouldn't even bother with this until I know for sure that my region is eligible for this qualifier. Because you could be wasting your time on something that you have no information about whatsoever. Period. So unless, like, until they release like the eligible regions, I wouldn't even say, like, just don't even waste your time. Not only that, before you even competed, so like just using the past 4 years of Pokemon Unite, this year included, prior to this, you would know exactly when the dates are, what the prize money allocation is. You have none of that either. Alright? Now, obviously, like, I'm sorry to say, like, this might be like how should I say this? With the exception of like the World Championships itself, you don't make shit in terms of prize money for Pokemon Unite. I'm sorry, like I've said this before, and like this is usually my response to like people that would like ask me, Chan, like, why have you never played competitive while like being so active in Pokemon Unite? It's very simple. I just don't think it's worth my time. Quite frankly, like I just didn't think it was worth my time for something that was so like it's high risk. Okay, I value my time a lot. That's number one. Number two, in order for me to compete at any competitive esport, I need to be with people that I'm confident with, that have the actual work ethic and mentality to commit to playing competitively. All right. Number three, the end goal is always worlds. All right. Like if you're like a pro player, your end goal should be worlds. At the bare minimum, making it on like the bare minimum is making it to worlds. On the top end is winning worlds. And if like for me, hypothetically, strictly hypothetical, if I was competing and if I didn't make it to worlds, the first thing I would think to myself is this was a complete waste of my time. And the reason I say that is because, like, guys, I don't know, like, this might be subjective for, depending on where you live, but you could literally work a minimum wage job and you would make more than people playing competitive Unite. All right? Minimum wage. The bit like what like for I think for us Canadians, minimum wage is like 18.25 or some shit like that. I don't remember at the top of my head, but like I think it's like 18.25. So like me working a minimum wage job versus playing like slaving away, competing, practicing, theory crafting, strategizing, all that stuff for Pokemon Unite for very little payoff, it isn't worth it. Unless you make it to Worlds and you place reasonably high. Obviously, my mentality is not the same as everyone else's. I'm speaking solely on behalf of myself, alright? Like, I'm not saying everyone else has to think this way. Like, let me make that perfectly clear. I'm playing to win. Obviously, prize money is good, but of course, winning is also up there. But winning and the prize money go hand in hand. Like, if you win, you get more money. If you lose, then you don't get shit, and you just feel bad. That's pretty much just the brunt, the nutshell version of it, without going into too much detail. But yeah, that's just my logic. And if once again, the whole point is if I can work a minimum wage job, make more money than basically whatever your average UCS team makes in their year playing Unite, then it's just why bother? It just it doesn't seem like it's worth the effort. For me specifically. That's why. But what is it okay. Now that we got through this, so we discussed the format, we discussed the changes, obviously, once again, just to kind of TLDR it, no more regional league, no more NAIC, no more EUIC, no more LAIC, no more EOS Cup, no more final stretch. It's literally just qualifiers, final tournament, that's it. Own independent thing, no longer part of WCS. We have no idea whether or not there's going to be a broadcast stream for these two tournaments or not, or the qualifiers or the final tournament, whatever. That is just stuff that is giant question marks, alright? So red flag alert for production value when it comes to Pokemon Unite. Now, there's so many implications going forward here, and we can get into that literally right now. So, number one, we can start off with the opportunity for just, I don't want to say career, but I guess advancement. There are so many people in this community that have been dedicated to hosting and creating grassroots projects and tournaments with what they had, obviously they had multiple intentions. Obviously they wanted to help the Pokemon Unite community grow. Some of them had aspirations of trying to be full-time casters, or even being a part-time caster for major events. That's not even a thing anymore. Realistically speaking, I honestly have no idea what's gonna happen to the current, ragtag crew of casters, which is and if I miss someone, if I miss someone's name, I apologize. I just, I don't remember everyone, but obviously the people that you're very well familiar with. You got Spriggles, Dupsnacks, Zoinks, Kilosaurus, I think her name's Danielle, whatever. You all the casters that are usually the main crew that you normally see on every major tournament, I'm pretty sure they're all gonna get axed. Unless they receive news or information in advance about future production that may or may not happen, I'm convinced that there's none of that. That's my prediction. And even if they do have a stream or whatnot, I'm more compelled to think, or I'm more inclined to think, that unless they have two separate streams for an English and a Japanese one, it's best case scenario, they have two different streams. They have the Japanese one, you have the English one, and then you have maybe one of the main crew for those two tournaments. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario is literally no streams at all. Or I guess the more tempered expectation might be they might have a stream, but it's Japanese only, because obviously they're catering to the Japanese audience or the Asian audience, so they might have your usual like Asian casters. But even then, like I don't even know if like it's not that because it is like the Asia region taking the reins. Like I don't want to say that they don't have the resources. The question is whether they want to allocate the resources to making this a like big shebang production. And like I feel for like look, don't get me wrong, like I you guys know me as the toxic guy, but I feel for the people that have been literally just grinding nonstop. I'm not and when I say grinding, I don't mean playing the game. I feel for the people who have dedicated years to Pokemon Unite, grinding, slaving away, trying to, expand this community, like nurture it to get it going or whatever, however you want to phrase it. And they're not even going to get an opportunity to even showcase their talent. Because that's what, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, there's a lot of people that are grassroots and they never got the opportunity because there was just no room for them. All right, like obviously it's not like these guys are generous when it comes to opportunity. Like you would have the same people like pretty much every broadcast, maybe like a few rotations here and there, but the bottom line is you had your main cast and maybe like once in a blue moon you have like someone else, but like there were still so many people that were just like hoping and just like praying that they would get that chance to be part of that main broadcast stream. And that's not really a thing anymore. Or like I don't think so. Like I said, it's still TBD, so like I'm not gonna say it as a fact, but yeah, like we have no idea if there's gonna be like a stream for these. And even then, like once again, even if there is or are going to be streams, it's gonna be like one, two, or three streams at most for like each occasion, and that's it. That's it. So yeah, like the grassroots opportunity, like the grass, like it is going to be completely demoralizing for people that are part of the grass and like anything Pokemon Unite grassroots because like now that this information is public, as in they are pulling the plug, it's just going to demotivate people from trying to continue advocating and continue trying to bolster up the community when there's nothing in it for you. Now, obviously, there's some people that do it from the goodness of their heart because they genuinely like to be that person to, host events, host tournaments, all that stuff. But like, with the exception of like personal satisfaction and maybe like if they're like they're an active streamer, maybe like a depending on what they're doing exactly, and maybe like a temporary, like superficial bump in viewership, there's very little for them to gain. Like, there's not much benefit for them to do it anymore now that this is a thing. So that's like one of many things. Like that's only talking about like opportunities for like grassroots people. All right. Another thing we can talk about is what does this mean for competitive players? Well, addressing the elephant in the room, like, if you didn't qualify for this Worlds, sucks to be you. Like, there's no other way to say it. Sucks to be you, because if you thought it was cutthroat now, like, assuming your region is eligible for this upcoming year, which is the EOS Crown 2027 Tokyo, you're pretty much done. Like, I'm sorry to say, like, you are pretty much done. And, like, I don't know, maybe if they knew, like, maybe if they released or publicized this information sooner, maybe that would have affected how people approach this year. Like, maybe some people were a little bit more, like, lax about how they chose to allocate their time when it comes to practicing or just like prepping, like whatever. But yeah, I mean, like, it's not like the competitive player base is like the majority, because obviously there's more casual players than there are competitive players. That being said, though, because the comp scene is now is basically like if you had, okay, let's say you had a full glass of water, okay, and that glass of water represents like the World Championship Series. You went from a full glass of water to basically a few drops of water in a cup. And that basically just represents like what's left of the comp scene. So like it's just like there's basically nothing left. You and like once again, like it just depends on when they release all this information. As in like, is it even worth your time anymore? And honestly, like some people might say yes. Like obviously some people genuinely like or they want to play competitive matches. Obviously, like people play the game for different reasons. Some people do it for the money. Some people do it for like the fun aspect. Some people do it for like more competitive matches just to be like more competitive. And like all those reasons aside, it's just like you're gonna play in one tournament for a chance to qualify for another tournament, and then that's it. It's done. And even then, it's like you also have to remember. So I don't know how long the qualifiers are going to be. Like it doesn't specifically say. It starts this year, but at the same time, it doesn't say like an end date. So depending on when they finish, like I'd imagine, unless they do it over the course of like what, several months, like it could be done within 1 month. It could be done over the course of like several weeks, throughout like multiple months. I have no idea. But then it's just like, okay, let's say hypothetically, it starts in November and then it ends in December. You're basically just kind of like waiting several months to play in that next tournament. And then after that, it's like, what do you do? Like, there's no more. You went, okay. I guess the best way for people to understand, you went from one format that had monthly tournaments pretty much every other month, if not every month, to a regional league. And obviously, if you were part of that regional league, as in you qualified or got invited, you would play basically every week, every other week. For what I think, I don't even remember how long the regional league was, but yeah, you play in the regional league, and then you still have a few major tournaments. To now, you have qualifiers and the final tournament. And it just like, think about the impact that has on the comp scene. Think about the impact it's going to have on the viewership, because you guys also have to remember, like, with the exception of like UCS, our viewership on the West, on the West, is just terrible. Like, if we were to just hold on a minute, let me see if I can like right now, we have 432 viewers, and that's with like literally Chris Heroes is streaming right now. I don't know if he just started, but yeah, like it's terrible. Like there's not much else to say about it. It's fucking terrible. This is on an average day. Like the exception being major tournaments, UCS, or like a sponsored event by like an Asia, or like maybe some like big streamer comes into the category for like one day and then bumps up the viewership superficially. But it's like, the point is that just like this game is pretty much dead. All right, like it's donezo, it's finito. At least it's been like that for a long time, anyways. And then it's just like, so opportunities for casters, grassroots people, pretty much out the door. Comp players probably going to be demotivated going forward. I mean, they like, once again, we have no idea what's going to happen because, like I said, they haven't specified all the details yet. So in terms of prize money, it could be more, it could be less. Uh, you gotta wait for to see if your region's even eligible. I am like, if they're trying to be all inclusive, then I'm sure all the regions that were eligible up until now would be eligible. I don't know how many teams and whatnot, but that's TBD. Another thing as well is like, because they're basically pulling the plug on WCS for Pokemon Unite, like I talked about this briefly. It's just like the writing's on the wall, and it's been on the wall for a very long time. Like the end of Pokemon Unite. Like I said, I predict that like I don't want to be that guy. I really don't. But like, I've always speculated based on the things I would experience when I play this game on a day-to-day basis. Not to mention just like on a monthly with the minimalistic change that happened to this game or happens to this game, they just don't do enough. All right? Like they just don't do enough. This game has been mismanaged. Like despite the fact that this game makes a couple million every single month, they do the bare minimum to maintain this game. The bare minimum. Why do they say all regions worldwide, but then say we'll publish details of the eligible regions? That makes no sense. I don't know. It's just like it's very cryptic. Like they're keeping it vague, and it's just like it is what it is. But I imagine all the Asia regions that you've seen up until now, they're definitely probably gonna be eligible. I think it's more like whether or not they want to expand, like whether or not they want to include the Western regions. That's like the big question mark because they're like this game function not functions. This game in the Asia regions is still very popular. I don't know how popular, to be honest, but like it's still very popular in the Asia regions just because, like I said, esports culture and just gaming is fundamentally just better supported over there due to their respective communities. Like temper the expectations, I guess. That's all I can really say. Because it's happening in November, I would imagine they would probably give you a heads up. I imagine the details for this qualifier and like all the relevant information for this new series or tournament late August. Late August, like early September. That's my guess for when they announce that stuff because they need to give people enough time to kind of practice, assuming you're eligible, so that way they can be prepared going into it. Especially because it is only one qualifier, so you know they gotta make it at least somewhat fair. But yeah, um, oh boy, updates for the game. Like I said, like the ratings on the wall, they're pulling the plug on the comp side. Don't don't cry, buddy. I knew, dude. I've been saying this game has been dead for so long that at this point, like I think it hasn't sunk in yet that it's actually happening. But I don't feel sentimental towards the game. When the game dies, it's just like I'll be all right, man. I'll be all right. I'll be on my feet still. Uh, Everyone else, I mean, to each their own. But yeah, what like I think the big question is if they're even going to update the game anymore after Worlds. I think that's like the big question mark for me. because like I said, like I'm expecting an end of service announcement next year at some point, but it's like I wonder if they're even gonna bother, or if it's gonna be like one of those situations in which they announce in advance, like, hey, thank you for being a part of the Pokemon Unite community up until now. We plan on ending the game on so like. You also have to remember, like, even if that were to happen, basically it doesn't happen instantaneously. Like, it would happen over the course of like a couple of weeks, maybe a few months. It's not like they just pull the plug instantly and it's just like the game's just over like right then and there. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess we'll see. Uh, Same thing. Like, this was posted on the English side. Like, I love how, like, so basically the one time the English account posted something relatively quickly. How much does it cost to have Unite and NA in relation to profit and make? I like, bro. Like, I've looked at like the I mean, considering they've been running for 5 years, like I'm saying 5 years just because we're gonna hit the 5 year mark next week. But basically, since the game has been functioning for 5 years, whatever their running costs are, they definitely make more than what they expend because it wouldn't make sense otherwise. Like if you're losing money just to keep it like they're not keeping the game alive to make us happy. They're keeping it alive because they know that they generate enough revenue to offset their running costs. Like at the end of the day, they're always going to be a business. So if they're not making money, obviously it's not worth it. Pretty sure pull the plug on comp as it doesn't matter too much to them, but they will continue to update the game and just grab money off skins and new characters. I mean, that's the thing. Like I've said this before, but like the competitive player base is not the majority. They are the minority. They've always been the minority. It's just like the comp side is just like a couple of handfuls of different people. But if if you were to take every single competitive player, like every single competitive UCS player, whether they're like top tier team or lower tier team, like skill wise, it's irrelevant. If you were to get all those players on like to stand on one side versus all the casual players would eclipse them. There are more casual players than there are like comp players. But the question is like it's hard to really say because a lot of the details haven't been provided. So that's why it's like it's all speculation, or a good majority of it is speculation. But it's like what happens to these people when they kind of accept that reality that like I can't say it's not worth it because obviously that's subjective, but it's like from a viewer standpoint, it's just like I can only imagine that people that were or are comp, they're probably just getting ready to wave the white flag. I'll tell you that much. Like that's just my line of thinking. Uh, it make less money by far than any other MOBAs, but it generate a couple millions. All you gotta do is release skins in Pokemon once in a while. No release to shut it down. Yeah, I mean like as long as they are making more or generating more revenue, then they can keep the game running for as long as they want, technically. But if that weren't the case, then obviously it wouldn't be a sustainable business. Therefore, I would have expected to have seen that, like, I would have expected to have seen them like pulling the plug sooner rather than later. And you guys gotta remember, like, their business model, or like the way in which they handle the microtransactions, like, it works. Regardless of our opinion of it, like, there are people that play this game that are consistently spending on the game via microtransactions. So that's their target. Like, that's their target audience of players. Not the competitive players, not the casual players. They only care about the spenders. Because they want their money and they gotta entice them in a way that actually gets them to spend. Seeing all the releases this year, I thought maybe this game had at least one more Worlds in it before they called it quits. I mean, their information was only recently updated. Like, I don't even know if they had that previous article anymore, but there was a previous article on the website which basically said, like, yeah, that they would have like a relegation tournament, but when they released, like, I don't know if they, like, I'm not actively checking the website, so I don't know if, like, when they removed it, but basically at one point they had an article, like a piece of news information that outlined that they would have like a, what's it called, a, oh god, I'm brain farting here. Oh right, okay. So basically the article was like stating like that they would have the regional league and people would have to requalify, like, the lower end of the regional league teams, they would have to requalify for the regional league by playing in like a qualifying tournament. Like, I think they would just have a higher seed. But that was like news that was in the back for a long while. Like, I am not periodically looking at the website, so like I don't know when exactly did it change. It was literally only right before I started stream that I pretty much saw this, because everyone's kind of talking about it. But yeah, I mean, like, the list could go on as to like what this will do to the game, but of all the game, it was clear on the shortest timer for Worlds, but dang, they also changed the, not that it's like relevant to this, but they also changed the format for Pokemon Go as well. Um, they From what I was seeing, I think it's like a team event now rather than like individual. I don't know how to explain that. I think it's like like, I think I saw like a Pokemon Go like piece of information basically saying that for like Worlds it's like a team of 3 now rather than like 2 people in lane, or like, so yeah. Um. Okay. I know. Hold on. I did have this open. So this was actually posted like I think it's maybe like an hour ago. Because yeah, exactly like 1 hour ago. So like when I had this tabbed, like, it was like 30 minutes after it got posted. But Spraggles also made a video on this, and he is, obviously, if you guys don't know, the content cowboy. He's the caster for Pokemon Unite. So maybe, like, I haven't watched the video because this is all new and it's still unfolding as we speak. So I'm curious to see if like he has any like insider information, and maybe he could shed some light on this. I'm only wondering because he has been a caster for so long, so maybe he may have heard something through the grapevine or something. But yeah, truthfully, like, I don't know. So I am curious to see like if he says anything like quote unquote new that I am not aware of. So let's watch this and see what the content cowboy says with regards to this. Fun. Oh wait, hold on. I need to add the audio as well.
So it finally happened, everyone. A huge announcement for Pokemon Unite, one that I kind of thought was coming for a long time, and now here it is. Until now, Pokemon Unite has been held as one of the competition categories at the Pokemon World Championships. It has now been decided to hold it as a standalone competition event, the Pokemon Unite Eos Crown 2027 in Tokyo. The TLDR here is that Pokemon Unite is out of UCS. That means it will not be at regionals and it will not be at the World Championships. There is so much to talk about with this. There is some very interesting wording around all of this. I have so many feelings, and I'm sure you do as well if you've been keeping up with Unite for a long time. This has huge implications for the
We'll let the
game.
content cowboy talk for this.
Start getting into it. Yeehaw, everybody. Uh, dude, I don't even know what to say because the messaging around this announcement is very interesting, and this is a huge announcement for the game and not in a positive way. There's no way to look at this positively. So this was posted, by the way, by the official account from Japan. So we don't even, unless they've posted it since then, we don't even have a post from the English global account, just the Japanese global account telling us what is happening with this game. They have it translated into multiple languages on this link. I'm going to read you this. I'm going to give you some of my thoughts. I'm sure everyone is going to have a lot of thoughts moving forward. But before we even get into it, this means the World Championships in San Francisco in August is the last World Championships for Pokemon Unite. It is the last time someone will be on that big stage hoisting the trophy. This is the final World Championships of Unite. And I got a lot of feelings about that too, which I think I'll probably talk more about maybe in this video or maybe in time. But that's been quite a journey, and that's coming to an end. So let's get into this. The Championship Series update. We have decided that Pokemon Unite will not be part of the Pokemon World Championships in 2027, scheduled for 2027, and will instead hold a separate tournament, the Pokemon Unite Eos Crown 2027 Tokyo. So essentially, this is ACL, right? Which is the second biggest tournament of the year for Pokemon Unite. A great event. I've loved going to it. Now it is going to be the only huge Unite event. The schedule is as follows. We have the Eos Crown 2027 Tokyo. We have regional qualifiers from November, tentatively, of this year, targeting all regions worldwide. Now, here's the really interesting thing, and I feel like I don't want to keep stopping here, but each one of these points I feel like we do need to talk about. Considering that there isn't going to be a championship series and any consistent tournaments for the game anymore, I don't know. We're just going to have one big qualifier, and teams from all over who are continuing to play, knowing there's no tournaments for them, are going to fight out for a few spots to head to Japan. I don't know. We will publish details of the eligible locations at a later date. Format online with a unified regulation for all locations. Tournament pricing, yes. Final tournament, March 2027 in Japan. So just like ACL, just like they've done it every year, they're going to have a big tournament in Japan for the game. Japan is the region for Unite. It is the #1 region they focus on. It is where all of the excitement is for the game. And I'm not shocked that if this game were to continue outside of UCS, Japan would be supported still. For other regions, yeah. Number of participating teams up to 32. We will invite all teams that won their respective location qualifiers. It's got to just be like one big.
Alright, guys. I'm pausing it here just because, like, I'm still here, guys. Right now, I'm just letting the cowboy talk, and of course, he's not really saying anything that we don't like. I haven't really commented on. I'll pause and chime in if I feel like I need to speak on something, but for the most part, he's pretty much just. I regurgitated basically everything that he said, vice versa. So yeah, but like if there's something that I feel like it's worth like chiming into, then I'll, pause and like talk about it. But yeah, I mean, like he's pretty much laying it out there for you guys.
like LCQ is a weird word for it. It's not last chance qualifier, it's OCQ, only chance qualifier, right? With tournament prizing. We will announce detailed schedule for each location qualifier and tournament regulations as soon as they are finalized. We look forward to your continued support of Pokemon Unite. It is going to be really hard for a lot of regions outside of Japan and whatever else is supported directly by TPC, which is the Pokemon company. They're kind of the two branches, to continue supporting Unite when there is no championship series for them. This has implications for the game too, but I also want to I just want to go over quickly what is said from Play Pokemon, what exactly they are saying about the championship event schedule. We have LAIC in Brazil, London has EUIC, Chicago, blah, blah, blah. And on to the Pokemon Unite Championship Series. The Pokemon Unite Championship Series will no longer be a part of the Championship Series. There will be a standalone in-person Pokemon Unite event planned to take place in Japan with paid travel for qualified teams. Additional details, including qualification and travel support, will be announced at a later date on the Pokemon Unite official site. And that's just like the website here, right? Yeah, that doesn't really... it doesn't really get updated that much anymore. Like, I don't even think they have the new Pokemon on here. Just a funny thing. Like, I don't think they've updated this with like attackers since Latios. Yeah, I mean, so we're gonna be seeing some updates there. Play Pokemon would like to thank all the dedicated teams, competitors, and organizations, didn't mention the casters, in the Pokemon Unite community for the spirit and passion they've brought to battles all around the world. And then as you scroll down, VGC, TCG, and Go. These are what are continuing in the championship series. And yeah, guys, let's just start going through. I'm going to go through this bit by bit, and I'm going to talk to you about, obviously, if you've been following the game for a while, especially if you've been following my content, you know, a couple of years ago, this game was not doing anything. I made a video about, like, I don't know what I can do with this game anymore. They're just not supporting it, not updating it. And then the 4th anniversary came, and they kind of started throwing a lot of stuff at the game. Tons of Pokemon releases, lots of changes. Groudon, Kyogre, the License Journey. Like, they've made so many decisions. They're just throwing so much at this game. But now, with an announcement like this, I think it would be surprising if this game had much of a life outside of this next event. I have to be honest with you. And I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm just trying to be real here. This feels like announcement 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not part of the big championship series anymore, and it has a big final. They aren't saying final, but it has a big final tournament in Tokyo. Again, let's go through pieces of this here. The targeting all regions worldwide. You're not going to have players from any of our regions anymore, any of the Western regions, so LATAM, North America, EU. You are not going to have official tournaments anymore. You're probably going to have one big tournament. And the last and most competitive event for this game is already scheduled to take place, excuse me, with all of the teams. So everyone, like the last big Worlds, the last biggest event is happening in a month. If your team didn't make it, that's basically the last train, except for this one event here in Japan. This is interesting because if the game were to start shutting down, the only region that is really doing well for it, as we've talked about many, many times, is Japan. So I'm not surprised that they're still breathing some life into this game from Japan. As far as like an online qualifier for this, I have no idea. I have no insider information as to this, but I really do feel like it's just going to be a one tournament qualifier for this game for teams that are still competing. They'll probably bring like maybe 1 or 2 teams from each region maybe to compete in Japan. And after March 2027, I would say we would probably be getting an announcement. If I were to guess, we would probably be getting an end of service announcement for this game. It wouldn't happen immediately, but this feels like announcement 1. This game is no longer being supported by the Pokemon Company International. There's no longer a tournament series. There is not the regional leagues. There's not going to be relegation. There aren't going to be esports. There aren't going to be. It's done. It's done. And then as it moves forward, we get another one. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news in this sense. And I know there's a lot here that is not explicitly said, but this is what this announcement is. I don't know how long the game will continue to exist. I don't know in what format it would continue to exist. It's possible if it's still popular in Japan, they could support it in a couple, like still have some Pokemon releases for the game. But once you lose the big tournament series here, once you are gone from the Pokemon Unite Championship Series, this is a massive indicator. It is... I mean, guys, the writing's on the wall. The writing's right over here. It's here.
Okay, let me pause it right here because, like, up until now I've been silent just because, like, I wanted to let Spraggles talk because obviously, like, I want to listen to what he has to say. And, like, my opinion probably doesn't matter. Like, my opinion doesn't matter as much in comparison to, like, Spraggles because obviously, for many reasons that I shouldn't have to explain, like, people respect him more. But if like, think of it like this: if Spraggles is going, like, is basically saying, like, this is it, like, you know that, like, I'm not trying to say this as a fact, but, like, basically, you got, like, one of the most optimistic guys and one of the, like, the biggest advocates for this game, basically just saying, yeah, it's time, guys. It's time to let Old Yeller out of the pen and just, like, down the Rainbow Bridge. Like, it's getting there. Like I said, I predict end of service announcement next year at some point. Probably like by the end, like before or by the end of next year's tournament. But, and yeah, you know what? It's like, it's funny because, like, a lot of people were also, like, a lot of people were saying that all the legendaries that you saw being released, so I'm talking about Yveltal, Palkia, which releases in like 24 hours. You got Reshiram and you got Solgaleo coming out after that. Like, people were, like, wondering, why are they all legendaries? Like, you know, instead of, like, basic Pokemon. And obviously because, like, a lot of people were claiming or, like, thinking they're releasing a bunch of legendaries for that final big cash grab. Because obviously, like, people are more, like, okay, I don't want to say this as fact, but, like, people are more likely to spend on legendaries than, like, you know, obscure, random, basic Pokemon. But obviously that's just, like, a preferential thing, like, if you like the Pokemon or not. And yeah, I mean, like, now that we see this, like, that theory or, like, that consensus that people were having towards those Pokemon, it seems a lot more, like, practical. Like, that line of thinking, like, might have been, like, the nail on the, like, the hammer, like, what is it called? The nail on the head or some shit like that? Hit the nail on the head, yeah. So, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, once again, you know, the game's still gonna be functioning, but at the same time, like, who knows for how much longer.
Dude. And for a long time, I've hoped that they would make a lot of great decisions and right the ship, but that has not taken place. They've made very odd decisions, like, all over the place. We've talked about it many times. But I don't think they did anything substantial to save the game. I think they spent a huge amount of time to finish this game in China, and then they came back to our game hoping that they could sort of, you know, get buckets and get all of the water out of a ship that they themselves were kind of sinking. But it just was too little too late. Enough players had already left. And you could see it as the as this game has gone on, you could see viewership decline, you could see interest decline, you could see, as we talked about me as a content creator, you could see people's interest in content decline. Outside of one region, which did have
I feel like it's pretty loud enough
still
as it
strong,
is, but
Japan.
okay, I could turn it up.
Everything else for the game has been going down and down and down. This is, I don't even want to say bittersweet. There really isn't anything sweet about it for me, except for the fact that I've been fortunate enough to get to participate in all of this, play my part in it, which has just been enjoying the game and getting to cast the game. But this is the end of that for sure. Worlds in San Francisco is the last big Pokemon Unite event. I have so many feelings about it. I'm sure I'll talk more about it. I'm rambling at this point. I have so many feelings about it. But if you're there, I'd love to say hi to you. I hope you check it out. No question, I want to absolutely, I want to make that the best event we've ever had for these players, for this community. Even though for a long time, this has been something kind of creeping in the background of this game. It's not if, it's been when. When are they going to start tapering all of this back? And I've felt this whole year that this was our last year for the championship series, even though I was told otherwise, not like it's for sure, Jake, but kind of like, hey, this is what we might do in 2027. We've talked about the league, right? This league will continue into 2027, and we'll have relegation, and we can look at different things. Now that this has been announced, this is about what I thought, but you just never know when it's going to happen. I really do wish, what is it, July 15th? I really do wish we would have known about this at the start of the year, because I think we could have done more as sort of a farewell season for Pokemon Unite, but maybe that's a conversation for another video. I want to hear what you think in the comments.
I do think that ending bit, so I didn't really feel, okay, so let me just say this right now. I didn't really feel the need to pause the video because I feel like everything I've said, Spriggle said the same thing, just in a different tone and form of words or choice of words. I do think that last point though, what he just said just now, is definitely something I think they should have done, because obviously now, when people are seeing the news that's being posted right now, naturally they're gonna think it's the end of Pokemon Unite. The time is, actually nearing. Obviously, we were always in the back of our minds, we're always thinking, Pokemon Unite is dying, quote unquote, but, it's not actually dead, or, it hasn't reached that point yet until, someone from the official sides, comments on it, right? But then, now that when you actually get something like that, that kind of gives you that inclination of, hey, yeah, it's actually happening. Or it's gonna happen relatively soon. Then it's just okay, well, it's kind of coming out of left field, right? If you know about it earlier, I'm sure people would have been no matter what, that feeling of knowing that the game you are playing, or the game you're invested in, is on its last bit of oxygen, you're literally at the bottom of the ocean and you're ready to just you're using that last oxygen tank, gasp, before you start gasping for air. But it would have been better to know in advance, for not for me specifically, but just other people, if they know, then maybe they would have put in the effort to put in more time to host events, or maybe people would have grinded more, knowing that this is the last year of Pokemon Unite or whatever. And it's just yeah, I mean, I'm sure people are disappointed and sad, because I think the conversation always goes back to if we're talking about Prime Unite, people were so hopeful for this game. People were so like optimistic, thinking that it's gonna be like the next major MOBA, especially like the next big MOBA, especially because it's like Pokemon. Like, oh, a MOBA and Pokemon? That's never been done before. So like here we go. Like we have a brand new game. And then of course, like there were lots of reasons as to why some people just didn't give Pokemon Unite a chance. Like obviously, if you guys remember, like we've had this discussion before, but like in the beginning days of Pokemon Unite, you had like Moist Critical, Mr. Who's the Boss, all those gimungo YouTubers and streamers with like millions of followers basically like shitting on the game and saying like, "Oh, it's pay to win" after only playing it for like 2 or 3 days. And then obviously that just gives the like negative connotation that this game is actually like a pay to win. And like technically like it is pay to win in a certain aspect, but like it didn't make that much of a difference. All right. Like maybe at the beginning more so than like later on, because obviously if you play the game enough, like you're able to level up all your items. So like you had a small advantage, but like eventually it didn't really matter at the end. Um yeah, and like I don't know, like pretty much Spraggle's voice his opinion, and I guess the bottom line is like when like I said, when the most optimistic person, or like at least one of the most optimistic people and spokesperson for this community, is like resigning to the like inevitable fate of this game, like you kind of just, I'm sure it's more, maybe not more demoralizing, but like it helps you kind of swallow that pill a little bit more easily, I guess. I don't know. And like I'm genuinely curious, is like I I don't know what the game is gonna be like when comp players have nothing to really strive for as well. Because like believe it or not, like in my small sample size of games, so like I although I do play a lot, you guys will notice that when I do play the game, I run into like the same handful, like the same like handfuls of players over and over and over again. And a fraction of those players are like competitive players, like people that are like actively competing in UCS, or like, you know, striving to be like competitive players, at least, you know, up until now. And like, are they still going to have that motivation to play the game when that competitive like environment is no longer really available, right? Now, I'm sure they might still play, but maybe they just like start hanging up the, you know, they hang up their, or sorry, throw in the towel type of thing. I don't know. And then I'm kind of curious. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I just want to look at something. Like I'm gonna put up on screen and just there's that. Bro, I feel like dude, if there's one thing, I feel like every time I see Slash post, it's like the biggest dose of copium I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Okay, like he is like he's a different type of optimistic. I'll say that much. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Just because so let's see what people are saying. Let's see what people are saying. So obviously we're looking at the major account, or one of the major like social accounts. Oh wait, this isn't even Pokemon Go. What the fuck? I'm looking at the wrong one. This is the one I was looking at. Okay. Seems like the Unite organizers are fed up with how many teams can't get visas to travel to the US for the WCS. Teams for Peru, Brazil, South Korea, and China might actually be able to compete without worrying their dreams will be crushed by US border control. You see, like that, like, okay, I feel it. I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I understand like, sometimes I understand what people are trying to say, but at the same time, I feel like at the same time, they're kind of like tone deaf to like the broader situation or like what's actually going on. Because like, okay, obviously like the issue is like, or like one of the issues that comp players have had in the past is that they could not get like their visas approved to like compete in like another country, right? And obviously that would basically like it would suck because obviously you're dedicating your time to be competitive and like get to a certain point and then like when you find out that you can't even travel, then it's just like, well, I just wasted all that time for no reason. So like I understand that aspect. But you also have to remember, like with this whole transition into being its own singular entity, on top of the fact that it's significantly smaller, it's like it's not even like it wouldn't even be an issue of like visa issues anymore. It's a matter of whether or not you even make it through that one opportunity to play. Because you went from like it's a flowchart, guys. It went from monthly tournaments to regional league to now there's a qualifier, like a singular tournament to determine whether or not you are going to be going or not. The question is just like how many people are going to be eligible to qualify after the dust settles. So I have no idea. Like I'm sure it might vary from like region to region, maybe, but we'll see. Well, fuck, rip NA competitive. Could have had potential, but the core game is just so dogshit. Surprised it had any players at all. Unite did this himself. Such a fun game, mismanaged. I would have paid $60 for this game just to give me all the characters. This is why live service games suck. No new maps. All these minigames get custom maps I used to buy characters when the coin system was actually fair. Obviously, vocalizing their disdain for, the lack of change, the lack of innovation, and of course the whole EOS coins changing to licensed journeys. This is a great time to start content creation and get into competitive, right? Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. 110%. Like literally like it's time to start doom posting about Pokemon Unite. Like every single day I'm gonna drop a YouTube video just basically counting down the days until end of service. Starting today, July, what is it? July 15th, day 1. The end of service is near. And then day 2, it's coming. Day 3, it's almost here. Day 4, I see it. One thing that Spriggle did kind of mention as well that I didn't actually talk about is the fact that, like, I don't know if you guys remember, but for the longest time, Pokemon Unite was like fixated and tunnel visioning on the whole Pokemon Unite in China. And they were like, it was getting hyped up, it was getting like advertised, and then like, as we like up, like right now, I feel like no one even talks about it anymore. Like, I don't even hear anything about like Chinese Pokemon Unite. Like, despite the fact that before it officially launched, it was just like, oh my god, like there's hope for this game. Look at all these cool features. Look at all the things that may or may not potentially go to global. And you know what's funny? Like, what happened? Like, what happened? Like, none of those, like, as far as I'm concerned, like, none of those features made its way to global. At least not that I know, like remember. Nobody talks about it anymore. Like I think it just like completely flopped. Like I genuinely don't even like if I'm being like dead ass serious, I genuinely don't even remember the last time I heard anyone talk talk about mention it, even like post a video about Pokemon Unite China at all. Because like and like it may not seem like a big deal, but like considering how much like time they probably invested in the release of that game. And like you have to remember, like the reason why Pokemon Unite didn't release in China immediately compared to like other regions or locations is because they're a lot more strict when it comes to uh games being like accessible in their region, especially like Pokemon of all things. Like Pokemon is like huge IP, so there's a lot of like rules and regulations that they have to adhere to make sure that it actually successfully drops. Uh they're finally releasing 2027 locations. Time to take Old Yeller out back. Honestly, I was literally thinking the same. I said the same thing earlier. No worlds, but the shop and treasure chests are still getting plenty of updates. Gotta recover that ROI somehow, I guess. Fucking deserve more support. That Midnight Hope it lose relevancy and shut down, and they don't deserve the players to invest on it. Just think of those cartoon electric mice unite. Oh my god, bro. You're like, hey, you know what? Like before I even like keep on doom scrolling about Pokemon Unite, I'm sure people are gonna be like, "Damn, I can't believe that this is happening to Pokemon Unite. Damn, I can't believe like the game that I, you know, watch and play like 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 watch and play is finally like on its last leg, whatever." Bro, it's those like you know what's crazy? It's like I feel like half of those people that are probably saying that shit now don't even play the game anymore or barely play it. Like if even a like I'm telling you right now, if even a fraction of those people continuously play the game, maybe it wouldn't even be in this position. Now, obviously that's strictly hypothetical, but it's like you can't really say, "Oh, like this is so sad" or whatever if you don't play the game anymore. Or like if you don't if you don't really like like help the game in any aspect because it's like you're just gonzo, you're finito. uh yeah, I think it's like the general trend of like I think everyone's pretty much more or less on the same page. Guys, on the bright side, that explains why they're giving all this free. Yo, you know what they're gonna do? Their final event, by the way, their final event for Pokemon Unite is they're gonna allow us to have access to everything. All the skins, all the licenses for like the last few months, right before the end of service announcement hits. That's what's gonna happen. They do that for like every game. It's like, okay, well, we know that the game's gonna be ending on so and so date. So, in order for you to enjoy Pokemon Unite to the fullest, everyone, you're gonna be able to access everything. Use what you want. Go wild. Slash is chiming in. Wanted to help with some confusion as a Unite top player. Bro, I feel like, like I always find it so funny that like every time Slash has to give it like an opinion about something, he always has to emphasize or like specify, "Oh, I'm a Unite top player. Oh, I'm a former world champion." I just find it funny. Uh we are getting our own championship series from November 2026 March to 2027. Uh this means the game will definitely not shut down until we are probably until then we're probably just seeing a smaller part of big changes behind the scenes. Yeah, the big yeah, uh, yeah, of course. Like obviously, he's okay. So like, obviously, the game's not gonna shut down if they're basically saying that there's gonna be at least a qualify. Like they gave two like dates. All right, they gave the November date and they gave the March date. Of course, the game's not gonna be dead before those dates happen because like otherwise, there's no point of even announcing those dates to begin with. This part right here, a small part of big changes behind the scenes. Yeah, of course. The big changes are the end of service that's going to be coming to Pokemon Unite since we're getting relegated to the Kitty League. This could be a good or bad thing for current players. How is this a good thing? Like, I genuinely want to understand. I genuinely don't understand how anyone can even like rationalize this as like something being good. Like, what good thing is gonna happen from this? Oh, like, okay, I can think of one good thing. Maybe because it's being like it's gonna be hosted by like a Japanese or like Asian entity. Maybe the production might be, better. But it's like, besides that, less tournaments, less opportunity, less interest, less motivation for comp players. Bro, like the list can go on, man. I'm telling you. I guess it's a good thing since all the pro players will fuck off, reducing drama, bro. What do you mean, man? I love hearing the stories of how all the NA players hate each other. Like, you know what we should do? Dude, you know how like I forget who it was, but like we need to have like a WWE or like a content creator. Not even content creator. We need to have a UCS like WWE Super Slam where like you have all UCS teams in a ring and then only the last team standing wins. I know these people hate each other. They just don't like to admit it. You remember that Inder post on Twitter from a while back and like how they did like this was like right after like last year's Worlds. Remember like how he posts on Twitter just like how like NA players were egoing each other, gatekeeping each other, blah blah blah. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that vividly, and he basically said, "Oh, we did shit because we didn't get proper practice. We did shit because NA teams gatekeep each other. We did this and that and blah blah blah." Dude, I say this so many times, but NA players, like not even just NA players, like the Unite community is basically just adult version of high school, alright? It's like high school, everyone has their clique group and they all try to fit in with one another, with the people that they try to vibe with, but when it comes to expanding or like interacting with other people that's not part of their inner circle, like they're ready to just roll over on each other. With huge changes, life's a journey. Unite has always let us down, so I'm skeptical. Unite's only successful in Asia, so it could pull a wilder. I feel like that's the only thing I really agree on, by the way. Out of all the things he's kind of pointed out, this is literally the only thing that I actually agree on, and I've said this way before, by the way. I've said this like years in advance. Oops. Like this is like Unite is becoming like Wild Rift. Timmy and TPCI both controlled the game, but if this means that one of them took full control, it's genuinely a good thing and probably means we get a lot of China features like auto chess, etc. Again, this is just speculation though. No one has any clue what happened. I like this is just at this point it's just copium. Like this is just copium. Like how long has the Chinese version been out for? Like a year? Like a year and a half at this point? Like if they were gonna add like Chinese features into the global version, it needed to be done sooner rather than later. Alright? First come no WCS, then comes EOS, bro. Yeah. Bro, but that's the big news, guys. That's pretty much it. Like I don't know what else to say. The end is near. And you know what's so funny? I like how so if you were if you were around yesterday, so basically they dropped the patch notes for tomorrow, by the way. So we have a new patch tomorrow. It's nothing crazy, by the way. Like it's nothing crazy. It's just you know what? Instead of me yapping, okay, hold on. Let me pull it up for you guys right now. I'm pretty sure I have it up on the screen somewhere. Da, 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 da. What's the day today? Today's the what? Oh, okay. I found it. It's right here. So like they dropped. So if you guys were around yesterday, by the way, they dropped the patch notes for like tomorrow. So basically, tomorrow we're gonna get a patch, and like in hindsight, like yeah, we get a patch, but then it's accompanied by like news that is just like so doom and gloom that it just outweighs like whatever this patch is. And by the way, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was reading this patch when I was playing yesterday, and I don't even think this patch is that good. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it just it's bland and boring. So yeah, I can go through the patch notes in case you guys missed out. Um, okay, so we got some UI adjustments related to move selection before battle. Regarding the selection of Pokemon moves before battle, we have made UI adjustments to address issues such as forgetting to adjust moves after selecting a Pokemon, and difficulty in finding selection location. This update will now display the currently selected Pokemon's move on the battle preparation screen. Additionally, tapping or pressing the corresponding button will open the move selection screen directly, allowing for smoother adjustments. So basically, obviously, like one of the issues with the whole moveset update thing was like sometimes you would forget to swap your move. So if you're on mobile, you can tap your screen. If you're on Switch, or aka console, you're gonna have like an input button that will allow you to open up the menu directly, and then you would just select your move. But honestly, it's just like for me, it's like kind of like the update itself is like not that big of a deal because like either way, like I like on Switch One no matter what, so I don't imagine like that the speed at which I'm gonna be able to change my moves is gonna be all that much like all that more different. It's just like I think instead of opening like two screens, so like you would have to open up the menu and then like go to like the move pathing or whatever, like you would just have to press one. So like press one button to open up like the move set and then like you select from there. So yeah. And then obviously it shows you Electro Ball Thunder. It tells you which one you're going to be using, yada yada yada. So a bit of a UI change, but it's nothing like game breaking different type of thing. Okay, so for the actual balance patch itself, so we got buffs to Aegislash, Gyarados, Clefable, Umbreon, Skeledirk, and Quaquaval. Nerfs, we got nerfs to Sylveon, Typhlosion, Feraligatr, Sirfetch'd, and Suicune. I'm gonna address the elephant in the room. They didn't nerf Yveltal, so that's fucking horrendous. So now we're gonna have a broken ass Yveltal still lingering around. And to top it off, I haven't seen Palkia gameplay, but the fact that Palkia is gonna be out and sorry, not Dragapult, Palkia and Yveltal, I imagine that they're gonna like I haven't seen Palkia gameplay, but I'd imagine if it's anything like its predecessor in terms of what's been released, it's gonna be hella broken. But I haven't seen just one thing. I haven't seen gameplay, so that's a disclaimer right there. Uh, let's go down to the actual specifics by themselves. Aegislash. Because I was unable to effectively handle attacks from mid to long range opponents and thus couldn't perform well in Unite battles, increased the shield amount of Wide Guard and shortened the waiting time. So, Wide Guard shield amount increased by 10%. Waiting time drops down to 8 seconds, buffing it by half a second. So, bigger shield on Wide Guard, so that just allows you to have a little bit more durability. And of course, you can sustain as well if you're, auto attacking in your shield form. Gyarados. We've improved the shield amount, damage, and ability to disrupt opponents with bounce, making it easier to aggressively jump into enemy territory. Additionally, we've increased the power of Aqua Tails, strengthening your offensive options after jumping into enemy territory. So, and I'll put my camera back on because obviously I'm still here. Jump. Shield amount, 10% increase. Damage, 15% increase. Knockback time, buff to 0.7 seconds with a 0.2 second buff. Aqua Tail, damage increased by 10%. So, you got your bounce and you got your Aqua Tail getting buffed. So, of course, any buffs is better than nothing. So, Gyarados. And, I always talk about this, but, a while back, so it wasn't super recent, but a while back, they nerfed Gyarados. Not just regular Gyarados, but Mega Gyarados as well. So they nerfed both Gyaradoses, and then they kind of just fell off the map. I don't know how to say it. They were ridiculously toxic top. Okay, they were strong top laners once you got to Gyarados, and they could pretty much just be a lane bully if they wanted to. But yeah, I mean, they got nerfed, and then people stopped playing it. And after the fact, I just think it's contradicting that they nerf something and then a little bit later they end up buffing it back. It makes little sense, I guess, but Okay, Pixie, aka that is Clefable. As a movie that can protect allies from opponents who launch quick attacks, there were many situations where the move's activation was slow and couldn't be used effectively. Therefore, we have adjusted the move to make it easier to use by shortening the stun time before activation. Gravity reduces the stun time before using a move. Okay, so Gravity gets a bit of a small buff. Blackie, aka Umbreon. To enhance its ability to stand in front of its allies and protect them as a defensive type, we have strengthened the damage reduction provided by Wish and the shield effect gained by Bark Out. We have also made adjustments to allow it to use a Unite ability more actively and effectively. So, Wish gives it a heal, plus 20%. Sorry, that's the base Wish. Wish plus 20%, 25% damage reduction, and then it's getting buffed to 30%. So, plus 5% at tier 2, or which is your max. Sorry, I had brain farts for a second. Basically 25% damage reduction, and then of course that's getting buffed to 30%, so that's a 5% increase in interval. And yeah, I mean, obviously, more sustain in terms of healing, more damage reduction, obviously take less damage. Pretty straightforward. Bark Out. Shield amount 50% of maximum HP, 20% of max HP. Shield duration 2 to 3 seconds. Okay, and then Moonlight Serenade, so that's its Unite move, Umbreon's Unite. Getting nerfed to 90,000 EOS energy, so yeah. Loud Bone. The range of Hyper Voice was too short to effectively hit the opponent's Pokemon in front and deal higher damage to the Pokemon behind. So we adjusted its range. We also shortened the recovery time before and after using Bark Out so that you can respond more quickly to opponents' Pokemon that are rapidly approaching. So the move range went from 9 meters to 10 meters. Reduces the stun time before and after using a move. Okay. War Venue. The low kick move was slow, often being interrupted by the opponent or failing to deal damage quickly, so we have adjusted it to shorten the move's startup time and make it faster. Additionally, we have increased the damage of the special normal attack, Spin Edge, which is enabled by the ability Moxie. Ability Self-Confidence. Damage of Spin Edge increased by 10%. Low kick. Adjustments were made to shorten the time it takes to execute moves and make actions faster. Okay. Sylveon. Since the last enhancement, the damage from Hyper Voice has been stronger than intended, so we have adjusted its power to be lower when hitting from a greater distance. Damage when hitting from a greater distance reduced by 8%. Chris better start looking for a new job. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what the plan is. That's for sure. Like, I'll tell you this much, guys. Speaking solely on behalf of myself, like, I've taken breaks from Pokemon Unite, but at the end of the day, I've always come back. And despite the fact that we've got the news of Pokemon Unite potentially or more realistically dying, I will be with you guys to the end, alright? Like, regardless of what happens, I will be your solo queue Mulder until the end of the game. So, at the very least, we still got a couple more months together, at the bare minimum. I'm here for you guys, you know? We take breaks, but I've always come back. Can't say the same for all those other weaklings, those other weak streamers that couldn't handle it. They could talk the talk, but they couldn't walk the walk. And you know where they are? Not here. Not here. They're gone. They left you. They said they'd come back for you. They went to the milk store and they never fucking came back. They make me sick. You know what? I spit on their stream. That's what I do. I spit on their stream because they disrespected you and they disrespected me. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But, Sylveon. Since the last enhancement, the damage from Hyper Voice has been stronger than intended, so we have adjusted its power to be lower when hitting from a greater distance. So Hyper Voice damage when hitting from a greater distance, 8% reduction. So basically, like, if you played Sylveon, specifically Hyper Voice, you would do more damage, like, if you're hitting the last layer of the Hyper Voice hitbox. Like, you would do more damage if you're, you know, maximizing your distance, but now you're going to do less damage, specifically 8%. Typhlosion. Because its ability to simultaneously gain mobility and shield effects while also dealing damage to opponents was too powerful, we have reduced the cooldown time and the amount of shield gained from Kain Guruma. Flame Wheel. Waiting time, nerfed by 1 second. Shield amount, 10% reduction. They went to TCG Mobile? You're telling me they gave up Pokemon Unite to play cards? Play cards? That's crazy, brother. That is absolutely giga crazy. I can't believe they gave up on us for playing Pokemon cards. At least play Yu-Gi-Oh! Play a real game. Just play within the first 2 generations and you'll be fine. Feraligatr. Its fighting style is characterized by dealing massive damage with a single blow from its large jaw when it successfully gets close to the opponent, but the ability to frequently use Unite moves to rapidly approach a designated opponent's Pokemon was too powerful. The frequency of Unite move has been reduced, and the damage dealt when using to close the distance has also been reduced. Unite move, Big Jaw Crush Bite. So, higher cooldown, and when no additional effects of Crunch are applied, 20% reduction. Surfetch. You know, I'm actually surprised Surfetch is getting a nerf. I feel like I haven't seen anyone play this Pokemon. Like, within the last few days of me playing Pokemon Unite, I feel like I've seen it less than a handful of times. So, I would say, like, out of all the Pokemon I've seen, this one's probably the most surprising just because of, like, I just don't feel like I've seen it. While it possesses powerful effects such as blocking enemy attacks and reducing damage taken, its ability to close a long distance, even if it fails to block an attack, was too strong. Therefore, we adjusted the distance traveled when Mikiri fails to block an attack to be the same as the distance traveled when it does block an attack. Adjusted distance traveled when the attack is not blocked so that it is the same as the distance traveled when the attack is blocked. Okay. Suicune. To optimize its powerful long-range disruptive capabilities and damage output, we have increased the cooldown for Whirlpool and the cooldown for restoring the number of uses of Ice Beam. Additionally, we have reduced the frequency of Unite moves. So, half a second increase on Whirlpool, half a second increase on Ice Beam, and Unite move also got a cooldown nerf as well. 10,000 energy. Adjusting your belongings. We have adjusted the effects of some items based on win rates and usage rates. Rescue Food. Increase in healing and shield effects for allied Pokemon other than your own. Getting buffed by 3% at each tier. Special Scarves. Wait time before the effect can be activated again. Buffed by 2 seconds. Bulky Helmet, which is aka Rocky Helmet. Damage to surrounding a Pokemon. Sorry, damage dealt to surrounding opponent Pokemon 1.2, 1.5, 1.8. Getting increased by what, 1.6? The heck? Okay, let's see. So increase of, sorry, 1.7, sorry, 0.7. Yeah, 0.7, 0.7, and then 0.7% on each threshold. So they're buffing 3 items. One of them being the Rocky Helmet. Yeah, I was really. Hold on, is it the English one? I was reading the English translated one. Yeah, so it was Snarl for Umbreon. So Rescue Hood, Choice Scarf, and Rocky Helmet. I feel like a lot of people don't use Choice Scarf, if I'm being honest, but excuse me. Yeah, Rescue Hood, Choice Scarf, and Rocky Helmet all getting buffs, and then the following bugs have been fixed. Fixed a bug where the HP recovery effect of Yveltal's ability, Dark Aura, would trigger multiple times. If its immediate knockout effect was activated during the timing when certain Unite moves effects, such as those of Machamp or Urshifu, Rapid Strike style, remain active even after being knocked out. Okay. Fix the bug with the HP recovery of Yveltal's ability. Dark Aura would trigger multiple times if its immediate knockout effect was activated during the timing when certain Unite moves effects, such as those of Machamp or Urshifu Rapid Strike style, remain active even after being knocked out. So it would trigger multiple times, but it would also linger around as well. Holy hell. Fix the bug where Wait. Fix the bug where a goal would be scored instantly if an allied Pokemon knocked out Kyogre while a goal was being charged. That's pretty much it, guys. So overall, I mean, like, my biggest gripe with this patch is the fact that they didn't nerf E-Battle. Not nerfing E-Battle this entire like it's stupid as hell. Like everyone knows that Pokemon is broken. Like I don't care to argue if it's more broken than a Pokemon that's been on the past, but like yeah, like it's a broken mon and then we didn't ban it for some reason. Sorry, we like it's the most broken Pokemon and people don't ban it. That's what I was trying to say. No, we don't ban it. It's just like literally the most broken Pokemon in the game. And now that Feraligatr has been slightly nerfed, I still think Feraligatr is still gonna be okay, but yeah. I mean, at least they nerfed Sylveon and Feraligatr. But yeah, E-Battle's gonna stay in permaban jail, and Palkia coming out in what 24 hours is gonna be in ban jail, so it is what it is. And honestly, like the patch overall was kind of disappointing. Like Aegislash, don't really care. Gyarados, whatever. Yeah, but that's it, guys. That is the patch, and I will copy and paste it in the chat. So if you guys want to look at it in your own, it's not even 2 days. It's tomorrow. It comes out on the 16th, so it is tomorrow. But if you guys want to look at the patch notes at your own time, then obviously there's the link below, and you guys can look at whatever. Yeah, but that's pretty much the news, guys. Like I know, it's somber news for some, but it's just. Oh, let me see something really quickly. Bear with me for like 1 minute. It is going to be better than stacking. Uh, okay, sorry. I was trying to look at something, but it was nothing in the end. Look, guys. Even Ender tweeted, "It's been real." Last World Championship, guys. You know what, guys? I'm gonna go to the last World Championship of Pokemon Unite, and I'm gonna live stream from there, guys. Like you guys don't even have to watch the stream. You guys can watch the live feed, and I'll make sure that there's no technical difficulties. Can you imagine though? That'd be funny. No, I wouldn't do that. You know, maybe guys, what if okay, just like bear with me and try just try to think of this, all right? Like you got to use your imagination. What if, all right? What if Timmy or like, whoever they made this public announcement to debate people into selling more tickets to make people believe that this is actually the last event when it's not. So that way they have a full house for what is potentially the quote unquote last tournament of the year. And then they decide to sell out all their tickets. Well, they manage to sell out all their tickets. And then And then when they know they got a full house, they just say, "Jokes, guys. We're gonna keep Pokemon Unite just the way it is, as in continuous updates and not dying anytime soon." What do people see in Pokemon Go and TCG? I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to Pokemon Go, and this is coming from someone that used to mainly stream Pokemon Go. I don't know what new people see in the game, quite frankly. Like people that play the game, like it's more it's easier to digest when it comes to like viewing it because you know what's going on. But like if you're like a new person, as in like you don't watch a lot of Pokemon Go, let alone watch any, bro, you're literally just watching people tap on the screen. But like you won't understand like what's going on. So like think of it like this, okay? Okay. Like what people see when people are playing Pokemon Go, like at least like when at least when we're talking about the Unite Championship series. Like you see people going like this, and then like every once in a while like they'll pause, and then they'll go like this again. Like and then like yeah, you see what's on their phone screen, but like bro, it's hella boring. Like even as someone like back in the day when I actively played Pokemon Go, like PvP, at the time I was a really good player. Like all right, like it doesn't take a lot of skill. Like it takes even less skill than Pokemon Unite. Like that's not even debatable for me. But like at the time when I was still playing, I can confidently say that like I could compete with like pretty much any of the top players at the time, all right? Just because I played it a lot and I was like, you know, very knowledgeable about the game at the time. Now that I don't play anymore, like obviously that's no longer applies, but the concept of the game has not changed, and you're still seeing the same thing. Like even the visuals like are it's not that different from when I was playing. So it's like all you see is like you know in person. Basically, when you're there in person, is just like you see like the two Pokemon just like you know kind of just like flopping around, battling each other. But basically, it's just like they're tapping on their phone or their iPad or whatever ferociously, and then like every couple of seconds, it's like I'm gonna be honest with you. I think like they have obviously like their demographic of players are obviously the people that play the game. But like for outsiders or like, you know, new people that are not invested, like it's boring. It's really like it's a really niche category. And that like I feel like that just applies to all the Pokemon games, but yeah. Um but yeah, guys, that's I'm gonna be honest with you. That's pretty much it. Like we pretty much got through it all. So TLDR, guys, like the very nutshell version of it. No more WCS for Pokemon Unite. That is that's it. No more WCS for 2027. It's now just EOS Crown 2027, one tournament, maybe one stream, and we just you know, we're finally on the life support, but we'll see how long it lasts. And then of course we have the balance update tomorrow. Um I'm trying to see here. I'm trying, like, yeah, Palkia's coming out in 2 days as well. But, like, I don't spend money on Pokemon Unite anymore, so, like, new Pokemon don't really apply to me. Just because, like, I don't get those new Pokemon. So, like, for me, like, when I hear or see that a new Pokemon is coming, I feel like it's just more of a nuisance, and it's my line of thinking. It's just like the way I approach the game because I know I'm never gonna get it early. It's just something that I'm gonna have to deal with, and usually most of the time it's just an obnoxious Pokemon that I don't want to deal with. So it's like more of a headache rather than anything. You know, is there any Palkia gameplay? Hold on. Let me see. I think someone was asking me yesterday if I saw the gameplay, and I said no because I didn't even realize it was like out in the beta, out in the beta. Oh my god, I can't talk. Oh yeah, there is.
All right, we have.
Yeah, Chris Heroes has a video of it. Okay, I want to see. I want to see. Palkia gameplay. It's only a 10-minute video, so it's not even 10 minutes. It's 9 minutes. So like this is.
Palkia pre-release gameplay coming out on Friday, and we already have gameplay now, as always, from Chanhttv. Shoutouts to him.
Holy shit! Dude, I thought Yveltal was fucking big. Look how big Palkia is. What, like bro? It's the. Why is this thing so chungo? Like this guy is taking his vitamins, man. Like, look at the size of Gossifleur and Vulpix, like, beside this thing.
But see, it looks. Oh my god!
Why is this thing so big?
It looks huge. Why is it so massive? Holy, just floating around like this.
Yo, the sprite for this Pokemon is not like proportional, man.
What we call aura?
Oh, and you know what's okay? You know what this reminds me of? I don't remember where I saw it exactly, but did you like? Maybe you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, did you guys ever see that joke, or it was like a little comic strip? It's a Pokemon comics, a Pokemon comic strip, and basically it's like it doesn't make sense how big Pokemon, like really big Pokemon, can fit in the small bushes and be invisible to like Pokemon trainers. So like, let's say you have like hypothetically like a giraffe rig. It's like the moment they walk into the bush, oh, they're invisible, but they're like, how when they're so ginormous? This is what that reminds me of. Like, oh, like this Pokemon is huge, but then when it goes in the bush, it's like, oh, well, invisible now.
Okay, what do we have again? Okay, pretty good early game move already. Big dash. It looks weird. I mean, it's just floating. It's just floating around. Is All-Rounder? Yeah, All-Rounder. That's pretty good early game damage already. It looks, I mean, it looks so slow. I mean, it just looks massive. He looks like Haaland casually waiting for a pass. True, honestly. True. It's frightening. Like, he's just walking so calmly. It looks so frightening. It's literally Haaland, you're right.
Wait a minute.
True.
You know what I just realized?
He looks like Haaland casually.
It didn't get its move at level 5. So, like, obviously I can't see, like, I don't know what the translation are. I'm just looking at the pictures.
For a pass. True, honestly.
But, like, did it not get its move at level 5?
True. It's frightening.
Oh, it did. Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's just walking so calmly. It looks so frightening. It's literally Haaland, you're right. Okay, so what do we have? I already forgot the moves of this Pokemon. So we have this piercing damage, and then we have more damage against the target, right? Holy.
So it
looks
has
so-
a
oh, it looks so
projectile,
weak though, but
like fire breath, or like
looks so
a
weak.
fireball.
What does this yellow bar do again? Oh man, I don't know. Okay, now we have the claw, right? This was like a Phantom Force, right? This was pretty much Phantom Force of Cerulege. Just, oh my, yeah. It's pretty much Phantom Force of Cerulege, but just probably better.
It has a blink.
Holy.
That is definitely annoying. I wonder if you have an iframe on that. Like, when I see a skill like that,
Much Phantom Force of Cerulege.
so
Just,
like, you saw it there,
my,
but like,
yeah. It's pretty much Phantom Force of Cerulege, but just probably better.
so like very, very slowly, but you see the blink? It's like a little mini teleport. But like Chris says, it's like a Phantom Force without the hassle of like going into that, animation of like untargetable, and then you choose your designated area that you want to appear out of. This one's like skipping the first part, but like going straight to the second part. My first question is like, if you time that skill properly, like my question is if you get like an iframe out of that.
Holy.
Like let's say for example, you are getting united by a zero aura. Like they unite move you, like if you time that properly, like are you gonna take damage? Or are you gonna get CC'd?
Holy.
That's like the first thing that comes to mind when I see a skill like that.
Yeah, it's just a Phantom Force that does more damage, right? Of Cerulege. Yellow bar's the boosted auto attack. But isn't it? Okay. Oh yeah, right, it's no right there. Oh yeah, that's the boost auto attack, right? Was it? Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. My. Up. Okay, I want to see the unite, of course. What is happening? What is happening now? Why is the screen like this? Alright, you have to build up the unite or something, right? But why is it... What? Why is the screen like this? It just means your unite move is maxed out? That's kind of weird.
I feel like that's distract. I actually don't like that. Like that whole aesthetic of like.
My. Up. Okay, I want to see the unite, of course. What is happening?
Yeah, I personally like. I get what they're going for. You have their little like overlay thing. I don't like it because like I find it distracting, but also I feel like it unintentionally covers up some of the area of the map that I actually need to see.
What is happening now? Why is the screen like this?
Like it goes like slightly more dark, but also
Alright, you have to build up the unite or something, right? But why is it... What? Why is the screen like this? It just means your unite move is maxed out? That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. Why is it like... Bro, that's a
Why is it spawning like that, bro? Like I think this animation is borked, man. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, that seems a bit too much, no? It's just the video effect? I don't know if it's just the video effect.
It looks like Fog of War.
But, I mean, the first move looks so boring. And now, unite move, it's just a... Oh my... It's
whoa! Hell, whoa!
I mean, the first move looks so boring. And now, unite move...
Are you untargetable and you, like... Okay, so, basically, what I see when, like, basically, okay. The most similar move I can think of is a Gengar Unite move. Or a Gyarados Ultimate.
But, I mean, the first move looks so boring. And now, unite move, it's just a...
And they get stunned too, by the way. So, like, you're untargetable and, like, it's an AoE stun. If you look at Zera, by the way, like Zera, like yeah, Zera just got stunned right here. Then they take damage. So like it's it could be used as a form of like disengage or hard engage. Like you just unite move eject button. If you're feeling like
Oh my, it's just a better time.
quote unquote spicy, but it also just depends on
Unite?
things.
Huh? That looks
I think like I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm sure it's gonna be strong. Like I am the storm that is approaching. Sorry, if you guys ever played Devil May Cry 5, this is basically just you know, Virgil just doing his thing.
And then they stun and it explodes. Oh my god. How long is the Unite cooldown? Oh, look, guys, no, look how fast the Unite is recharging. Yeah, this is getting nerfed. This is already getting nerfed. Like, why are we even... we're not even the same gameplay on like...
What?
Unite cooldown. Oh,
Do you see? Whoa, 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 whoa! Hold.
This is already getting nerfed. Like, why are we even... we're not even the same gameplay on...
You get 14% for a score on your Unite move? What the fuck is that? Do you know how OP that shit is? You're already charging like 3% a second, but you get 14% for a score?
On live server.
Wait, how much do you get for a piece of... Wait, okay. I need to see, like... They get 6% for a piece of farm. 6% for a piece of farm. They get 14% for a score.
How long is the Unite cooldown? Oh, look, guys, no, look how fast the Unite is recharging. Yeah, this is getting...
Yeah, they're getting 3% like every tick.
Like, why are we even... we're not even the same gameplay on live server. Look at this, 3% a second. It gets back. Yeah, this will make it to live servers, surely, guys. Surely, this will be the live version, right? Yeah. Okay, but why is one of the moves is so bad looking? Wait, does that boost the auto take stun, by the way? Okay, Unite again. Does the boost auto take stun? It does, right?
Also, just the FYI, guys. I want to also point out that, yeah, I know the Palkia's 2 levels higher, but you also have to remember, at this point in time, Feraligatr hasn't been nerfed yet. And the fact that Palkia can literally just stand in front of Feraligatr, like, yeah, I know there's a 2 level difference, but the fact that Palkia can literally just stand in front of a Feraligatr, bullying it, and I know that obviously it's not a bot game either, because literally bots don't play Feraligatr. Like, I don't know how good these players are, but like, the fact that a Palkia just stands there in front of an Umbreon and Feraligatr, bullying this thing back to the pad.
That's right.
Like, just like, for visual representation, like, that shouldn't happen.
Look at the yellow.
That shouldn't even be a thing.
Yeah. Wait, the auto take stuns? The booster auto take stuns?
Like, god damn, brother.
Timmy. What are we doing? Why do we have
like
attack that
ban Yveltal, ban Palkia, man. And honestly, I still probably think you should ban Feraligatr even after the nerf tomorrow. So just a reminder, guys. The patch notes are out, but the update hasn't dropped yet. The update drops tomorrow, the 16th. All right, so you still have one more day of the same patch, and then the updates happen. But also remember, Palkia comes out, and Yveltal didn't get nerfed at all. And I honestly think, despite the fact that Feraligatr got nerfed, it still needs to be banned. I don't think they nerfed it enough.
But you have to hold it down, right? To fly longer. You have to press it down to hold. I think. Guys, look at the cooldown of the Unite move. Why is the screen glowing? If its Unite move is fully charged, you have to charge up its Unite by doing damage to enemies. You see the bottom 4 right here? You see the 4? This is pre-release version. This can always be nerfed until it goes live, pretty much. But this looks kind of OP right now. This is kind of OP right now. Kind of OP. Only a little bit, guys. But he's also kind of, I mean, he's playing on ping. It's orange already, so it's a bit clunky. That is a referral.
Holy hell, dude. Like, that should not be happening to a Feraligatr, man. Like, yes, I'm aware that there's a level difference. I understand that, but, like, it's like, you got your projectile that amplifies your damage. You got your, I don't know what the move is called, but it looks like your Phantom Force. And then bop bop. Literally 4 hits. 4 hits without Unite move, and Feraligatr's dead from full HP. Like, what the shiz?
That is a Feraligatr. Okay, but Ton, just spam Unite. You have it like, it's like a 10-second Unite move cooldown. What's the blue flame? I think it's a skill shot. I mean, it's a skill shot that does damage, and then I think they are marked, and you can proc the mark. I think. That's what it looks like to me, but it looks kind of weak. Like, that ability just looks boring. Oh my dear. Or it's just Talonflame Fly as a Unite that also stuns for a long time and does more damage. Oh my. It's like Psycho Cut Absolia. Like, you mark them with the first move and then you do more damage against it. I guess. But yeah, it's Cerulege, Unite move, and Fly combined. You're right, yeah. True.
Yeah, it's for its auto attack, I think.
Yeah. That looks kinda...
I think it applies to skills
nasty.
too. Like, whatever offensive skill you...
Kinda
Let me see.
over here.
Wait.
Kinda nasty over here. I'm gonna find a team fight now. It also looks quite tanky, right? Like, why is he? Is that just Eldegoss healing? No, he's healing so much.
Yeah, I think it just auto attacks. It looks like it.
Why is he so tanky? These are real players, by the way. Why is he so tanky? What? Yeah, the screen clutter is kind of weird. I hope they remove that.
Like, bro, like
Oh, nice,
that's just disgusting.
Just one tapped. Yeah, it's not rounder, yeah. Bye guys, I'm gonna say it, this will be broken. I don't think it's a surprise. If anyone denies it, then I don't even know what we're watching right here. But of course, again, as always, until it's on live, it can be changed. This might not be the final version. This is of course some playtesting. So if the players say, yeah, this is a bit too OP, they might nerf it. Which, I mean, I feel like 29k. Yeah, I think it probably needs a nerf, guys, before going on live servers. On Friday, that is. What about
Broken.
you guys?
I'm telling you, that shit's broken.
Honestly,
Ban
Spammy
Palkia, ban
doesn't
Yveltal, maybe ban, like,
Yeah,
probably
you
ban
can
Feraligatr
close
still.
the game easily.
And then the other 3, like,
Unite was
that's up to you,
crazy.
but, like,
Yeah, guys,
Unfortunately, I only have
I think this Pokemon
one band,
is
so
going to
I'll be lucky
honest-
enough to get that shit. And even then, like, oh god, dude. If I do rank matches and people aren't banning that shit or e-battle, like I'm gonna maul. Like I kid you not. Like I don't want to be subjected to having to play and sweat against like obviously apparent broken ass Pokemon that are literally just being exploited by the credit card. And then like when you know back in the day, so like when I say back in the day, I'm talking about like the early days of Pokemon Unite. You know how people would say like Pokemon Unite is pay to win? Technically it was, but like, you know, in the long run it didn't really make much of a difference. When they release Pokemon like this, that's like, oh, you can buy it for like 2 to 3 weeks of like early access. Like you're getting access to something earlier because you're investing the money to get it early. Like this type of shit is like, yeah, it's definitely pay to win, man. Like obviously there are some people that are always gonna be bad at the game and they make some things look like shit, but like these types of Pokemon, it's like goddamn, bro. It's like I don't even know what to even make of it, man. Pay to win, pay to win, pay to win, pay to win. Um, let me see something. Hold on. Okay, guys. I want to bully people, so I'm gonna buy it. Well, I like okay, like I hate dealing with it, or like I hate having to deal with like overpowered Pokemon, but like also it's like when people tell me they're gonna buy something with their money, like you know, you guys do what you want. You guys do what you want. Like I always tell people like it's not gonna affect me at the end of the day. It's more so just like you do what you want with your disposable income. Like that's obviously your choice. As long as you're spending responsibly, that's all that really matters at the end of the day, right? Like the only people I would tell like not like the only people I would say is like not to waste your money is like if you're not in a position to spend your money. It's like the equivalent of like you know like let's say for example like someone doesn't have money or like someone is just like on the verge of bankruptcy and they're like spending money on subs, like you know, like subbing to my channel. I would say like I'd appreciate it, but like don't spend money on me. Make sure you spend it on yourself and like do make responsible decisions. Like that's like the equivalent I can think of. So like as long as you're in a position to do so, like you do what you want. You do you. Obviously that would apply to everyone, not just you specifically, but you know. Um Guys, I know I kind of just started stream, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I had really bad insomnia last night. Like I didn't get a wink of sleep. Like after I like ended stream, I like had dinner and I showered, brushed my teeth, all that stuff, and then like I tried to sleep and I just ended up like staring at the ceiling all night. So like like basically after I ended stream, I have not slept at all. But I think it's like starting to get to me. So I think I'm gonna end the stream here. Um, yeah, I'm gonna end the stream here for like for me. I'm gonna try to get some rest, but I will stream early, and we'll do like a long ass stream when I come back. So like I'm gonna get some proper rest or try to anyways. Like you know maybe like a nap or like actual proper sleep if possible. Um, and then when I do come back, it's gonna we'll do like a long ass stream. We'll do you know what? We'll do viewer games. Well, like when I come back, whenever that is, we will do viewer games. Just kind of make up for the fact that I'm like being a potato right now. Wait, Shan? Wait. Wait for what? What's happening? Why? Yeah, I mean, I can do viewer games whenever. Yeah, sure. I'll do viewer games again. Next time I stream, we'll do viewer games. Shan, have you ever considered that Palkia isn't broken and you're just jealous that little Jimmy has mommy's credit card that he can steal for free rank points tomorrow and you don't have a credit card to steal? You think I don't have a credit card? I have a credit card right here. Right here. Alright, you can see the magnetic strip and I'm holding it. Alright, I swipe my credit card on everything that's edible. There you go, guys. I just love food, man. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm such a foodie, like, I'd probably be more willing to spend money on other stuff that isn't food. But, yeah, I literally, with the exception of, like, paying bills and stuff, all my, majority of my money just goes to food. And it's like, honestly, it's like an addiction to the point that, like, I should be more mindful of how much money I spend on takeout, but it's just like, I just like eating, alright? Alright, guys. So yeah, it was pretty much. I pretty much kind of just tuned in stream. That I kind of just turned on stream just to kind of like talk about the stuff that was like going on. And I was kind of like, if I was like, don't be fat, Shan. To verify, can you send me the details of the card? Okay, my credit card number is 1111 2222 1111 2222. All right, in that order. And the expiration date is 1111. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I at least went live for like, you know, the news and whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna end stream, guys. Like, I'm just gonna try to get some rest, and then when I come back, like, I might, like, I don't know if I'll come back like later today or if I will come back just tomorrow. Like, let's start a brand new day. But I will do a long stream, you know, whenever I go live next, and then we'll do viewer games. All right. We'll do viewer games. Might do like a warm up solo queue games, but like if anyone's around that wants to play or wants to get carried, yeah, I'll do some viewer games and then we'll go from there. All right, guys. So I know it's a very short stream. I know it's a very short stream compared to what you guys are normally used to, but you know, gotta prioritize the health more than anything else. So I hope you guys have a fantastic Wednesday. If anything, I'll see you guys later. Like, if anything. But if not, you'll definitely see me tomorrow, and we'll come back for a long Pokemon Unite stream. All right, guys? So have a fantastic Wednesday. Sorry for the short stream, but I gotta get some rest. Bad insomnia last night. I'm gonna try to sleep it off, or like, you know, get some sleep. And yeah, you guys have a good one. Take care. Good luck on your games if you're playing today. Just a reminder, last minute reminder: patch tomorrow, and Palkia tomorrow, I believe. Or is it like, yeah, Palkia tomorrow. So patch and Palkia tomorrow. So that's something that you may or may not be excited about, but yeah. Obviously the big... Oh, it's Friday? Oh, okay, my bad. Sorry. Palkia Friday, patch tomorrow. So one day of the patch and then Palkia after that. But yeah, obviously the small takeaway from that is Yveltal is not nerfed, or it's not going to be nerfed in that patch tomorrow, so ban that shit, and then you're going to want to ban Palkia. Unless you're first pick and you can play it yourself, then obviously that would be the exception. So yeah, you guys take care. Have a good one. I'll see you guys when I see you. And yeah, have a great day, guys. Alright? So I know it's a short stream, but, you know, I promise I'll make it up to you guys. Alright? So you guys take it easy. Peace.